put solid effort. And, sometimes you'll see some inconsistencies come up in a road game, but they were pretty solid there.
I was very impressed with the balance they displayed, guys. Different people carrying the load, scoring, making assists, unselfish play. Everything was working for them to get that victory.
All right, let's set the floor. Courtesy of Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. And Charlotte looking at who they've got. At the 3, MKG and Cody Zeller at the 4. Henderson out there with Mr. Perfect. And it's Jefferson in at the 5. Now here's Teague. Carroll kicks to Millsap. There's the pass to Teague. That's blocked. They retain possession. Carroll dishes to Korver. 4 on the clock. Korver trying to free himself up. And that one hits back iron. And it's the Hornets ball. Outplayed in the previous game on their schedule, losing to the Raptors.
I know that's a game they'd like to forget. Sort of a tough day for them all around.
Yeah, I don't see any reason they won't be able to rebound from it pretty quickly, though. I mean, this team throughout the season has shown itself to be pretty resilient. You know, the issue really with Atlanta this year and moving forward isn't that they're a bad team. They've just been kind of stuck in that middle road of mediocrity. They're competitive, play hard. They're hoping to find a way to get to the next level now.
Here's Mr. Perfect. 11 points for him in that last game against Toronto.
And he really kept his head down, was drawing contact, getting himself to the line, played an aggressive game. That was a big-time help for him and his team.
Back to Kid Gilchrist. The Hornets need to get a shot off here. The shot's good from Mr. Perfect.
And a lot of times his first quarter seems to dictate how big of a role he plays later on, and he's off to the good start.
Millsap sets the pick for Teague. Pass to Millsap. Puts up the baby hook. Good on the shot.
Took a little time, but they get one to go. Maybe they're warmed up now.
For Charlotte, they've gone 2 of 3 here to start off the game. Jefferson, a screen on Teague. Mr. Perfect, the pass to Jefferson. Good work defensively by Horford. The Hawks have gone just 1 for 5 from the field to start the quarter. Here's Teague. No luck. And Charlotte will come the other way. 3-pointer. No good for Mr. Perfect. A slow start for Atlanta in this one. It's a 3-point game. Last time they came together was in Charlotte, where they fell to the Hornets.
Well, looking back at that last game between these two teams, they lost the game. I thought the difference was they were badly out-rebounded inside, and it's so tough to win a game when you can't secure that ball. Can't get a much better look than that, though.
Sure can't. Not one you'd expect him to miss there.
And he gets it to go. Mr. Perfect's got 5 points so far.
Superb assist there. He played the role of the maestro on that one.
And Clark, talking about rebound, I'm sure that this team has been reminded of that by the coaching staff.
Without question, and you can't be surprised to see them really crash the boards in this one. They needed to get some second chance points, and their defense needed to limit the offensive rebounds at the other end. Definitely that was a focus for them, controlling and handling both backboards.
And we're approaching about 3.5 minutes played in the first quarter. Let's send it over to Doris Burke, who caught up with head coach Mike Budenholzer. Doris?
We talked about the impact players on these two teams, the ones who can take over a game single-handedly. And he told me that Michael Kidd Gilchrist may already be in that category. He said he's a guy we've got to account for. He's just so relentless. If you're not ready to match his intensity level, he'll make you look bad. And Kevin? He said if they can limit his impact on the game, that will certainly help.
Always great to hear from you, Doris. Now here's Kidd Gilchrist after the miss from Mr. Perfect. And there's the whistle, fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. Well, the Bobcats then, now Hornets, might have been a little bit late to the analytics, but that's going on in the NBA all over the place. And they're full-time on it now.
Yeah, they're all over it. Last season they had a half dozen of their staff devoted to analytics.
And it's a completely new group for Atlanta. So an almost entirely new group in now for Charlotte. Biombo is checked in for Jefferson. Vonleh comes in for Zoe. And Stevenson's checked in for Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. And Walker's subbed in for Gerald Henderson. Now here is Cephalosha, averaging 6 points per contest. Fade away. Good.
And for the Hornets, that's huge, having a bit of a numerical guide as to who to target in free agency, because they aren't usually a big player in that respect.
Here's Walker. It's a three-point game, and that one's good.
I like the way they're working the ball inside, because when you do that, you get higher percentage shots, and typically good things happen.
Here's Schroeder. Cephalosha up top. He's guarded by Stevenson. And Muscala kicks to Cephalosha. Poke loose. Stevenson outside. From 12 feet out. That's good. Stevenson's got his first 2 points.
And we know the Hornets definitely aren't as big a player in most free agent markets. That's pretty clear, small market team. They're usually at the bottom of the league in payroll. But they are making the most of what they spend now with their analysis, so trying to level the playing field a little.
Well, every once in a while, he'll show us some pretty good moves around the hoop.
Here's Walker, hoping to put that miserable performance against Toronto behind him tonight. Pass to Mr. Perfect. 17 seconds left to play here in the first. Shot clock at 5. Shot is off. Here's Mack. And welcome back to the NBA. Completely new group on the floor. And some changes here for the Hornets. Hornets trail by 3. Setting the floor for the Hornets. Henderson and MKG will fill out the wings. Zeller and Johnson are the bigs. And it's Mr. Perfect in at the point.
He can be a forgotten man in their offense sometimes, but you know the defense still needs to keep an eye on him.
T dishes to Korver. Back to T. Lays it up, and despite of the excellent defense at that.
Well, here in the second, not as listless. They're showing some signs of life offensively.
Well, great sign, because after that poor first quarter, now they're playing better offensively, and they have the lead. Jeff Teague, one of the quickest and most elusive point guards in the NBA. He's incredible in transition. Where he's really improved is in the half court. He's figured out how to carve up defenses off the dribble.
Atlanta with the ball. They trail by 1. Here is Korver. Henderson defending. Korver passes to T. To the wing on the left. Carroll kicks to T. 6 on the shot clock. Millsap trying to get open. Rebounded by Mr. Perfect.
Rebounds are split just about down the middle in this game, Clark.
I'd venture to guess whichever team is able to maintain that energy level on the glass will have the upper hand the rest of the way. What a game we've seen here for Mr. Perfect. 10 points, and he's hit the mark twice from three-point range as well.
Well, it's no secret. I mean, the more points he can come up with from out there, the better off they'll be offensively with their spacing.
It's not very often you can say this about the future is looking pretty bright.
So often as season ends and you're thinking about the issues you've got to deal with, but right now the Hornets headed in a good direction.
Hornets have gotten a little under 50% of their second quarter shots to find the mark. 4 of 9 all told. He feeds it to Kidd-Gilchrist. Dishes to Henderson. Charlotte moving the ball around. And again, the Hornets missing.
And for Charlotte, as you said, part of it is feeling good with their direction, but also they should feel good that they actually have a direction after the way the last few years have gone.
And there's the basket. Whistle blows and a chance for a three-point play. Going to the line for 1.
Very well done. He is a confident, dynamic scorer.
You know, having a direction, as you mentioned, had been a problem with Charlotte because they seem to change their minds every year about who they were going to be. And and they did it for the last decade or so. Now it seems as though the base is solid, and they've got an idea of how they want to build and who they want to build around, and they've got a group that can grow together.
And he gets it to go. Korver's got the lead up to 3 now for Atlanta.
Yeah, nice fast break from start to finish, guys.
Especially on the back end. I mean, he polished it off perfectly.
And stolen by Horford. Tries from 16, and it's Teague. That's on the assist by Horford. And it's 6 points for Teague.
And he should thank the defense for those 2 points. Really, nobody paid him any mind there.
They need this, and that's the final position with the nice and the first half.
All right, listen closely, man. I've got a few things to touch on. We're going to turn this from a close game into our game. For the most part, we play.
Second half, neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters. Nice game, great performance from Mr. Perfect.
I loved his approach, guys. He came out aggressively, took the ball into the teeth of the defense, and either got points at the rim or drew fouls.
Most of the time he's been drawing fouls. He has the free throw total to show for it, as well as a few nicks and bruises.
Millsap at power forward with Horford at center. On the wings, Korver and Carroll, and it's Teague in at the point guard position. So that's the Hawks 5. And a chance here to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Hi, Kev. Mr. Perfect in their last time out against the Raptors played some good basketball. He ended with 11 points, and it seemed every trip down he would end up at the line. A lot of free throws for him. This was just the game he wanted to have as he leads his team to the playoffs. You want to be hot late, Kevin.
Thank you, Doris. He was the player they leaned on that night, Steve, and he didn't disappoint them.
No, he didn't. In fact, he did everything they asked of him and more. And I think he really enjoys being that go-to guy for them.
Yeah, I think he relishes that because he knows he's capable of doing it. He's had some performances that have fortified his confidence in that role. So he's in a good place right now.
Kicks it to Horford. Back to Teague. The dish to Carroll. A chance there to push it to double digits, but it's off the mark. Clark, they've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a little bit of cottonmouth here. Dry spell for sure. It's been a real difficult game for him offensively, and it's cost him. He got a great read of where that miss was going, and that allowed him to be the first guy to it and get the putback.
Teague. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
You know, even from here, you could see that one pretty clearly.
Yep, pretty obvious. And a good call by the officials.
He's 0 of 1 from the line, missing on his first trip. Thabo Sefolosha has checked in for Damari Carroll. And then for Charlotte, Biyombo has checked in for Jefferson. Vonleh comes in for Zeller. Lance Stevenson subbed in for Gerald Henderson. No good for Mr. Perfect.
They're struggling here. They're just 1 of 5 to start this 3rd quarter. They've got to loosen up here.
Hawks coach Mike Budenholzer grew up around the game. His father coached high school and college basketball for 25 years, and Mike got into coaching pretty much immediately after graduating from college. Sounded like a guy who knew what he wanted to do.
Stevenson kicks to Kid Gilchrist. Here's Mr. Perfect. Rebounded by Sefolosha.
It seems like nothing is falling for him this quarter. He's really out of his rhythm.
Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And Coach Budenholzer, 2-sport athlete at Pomona, golf and basketball, also graduated with a triple major in, Steve, politics, philosophy, and economics. It sounds just like you at Arizona.
Similar, only different. But, you know, shortly after college, Budenholzer actually took over as the video coordinator for the Spurs, and that's where his career took off. He ended up spending 19 seasons alongside Greg Popovich, winning 4 titles, and now here he is coaching the Atlanta Hawks.
The Hawks leading by 7. Here's Schroeder, and blocked.